What is up, everybody? Let me just check my audio levels here. Good. What's up? Welcome to the MarkZDrumcast. I'm your host, Mark Zapata, owner and founder of MarkZDrums. Drummer since the age of 7. MarkZDrums has been around a good 12 years. Jalapeno coffee this morning. I've been on a jalapeno kick, jalapeno beer, jalapeno coffee, and of course, jalapenos in general. Delicious coffee from Texas. I just got it yesterday. So that is your coffee update for today. Let me show you what we're going to be doing. And of course, everybody say hello to Louie, my best bud. This is what we're going to be doing today. He's going to be leaving right now. Yeah, go ahead and leave. I got to play. I'm going to play. No. Okay, so I apologize. I sometimes leave my microphone on when I'm playing drums. Not good, sounds like crap, but it happens. So I gave you a little bit of a sample of what we're going to be doing today. Kind of a combination of the last two Drumcasts. When I talked about creating fills, and I talked about creating beats. Okay, hang on a second. I talked about creating fills. I talked about creating beats. I think one day soon, I'm going to be adding a sheet music element where we'll be able to do some exercises from exercise sheets that we have. I don't even know. You know, my keyboard is giving me some problems. Let's see if this works. My keyboard's been acting weird. So I think I'm going to plug it in. Can I plug it in? I have to plug it in at some point. But anyway, Louis says hi. As you notice, if you go to my channel, my YouTube channel, MarkZDrums on YouTube, somehow that was weird too, where I had to change the name from MarkZDrums on YouTube to MarkZDrums on YouTube, because something happened where that was no longer the name. There were numbers after it or something. I don't know. I got to look into that. But anyway, if you look on the page, he is in our profile pic because he is part of the show. So he is in the profile pic. I'm trying to figure out a way to make those pops available. There is a MarkZDrums and Louis pop that you can see on my profile pic. But hey, Fran, so combining what we did a couple of shows ago and what we did last show, I was talking about possibly getting some sheet music up, just some exercises, so that we could talk about how we can read simple beats using with notation, and we can read simple beats that we can then practice. We can practice those beats and we can get better at those beats. The sheets that I have, the reference that I have is from, I think it's called 1001 Drum Beats. And it's a big, thick book with nothing but drum notation. And then it has sections of genre, right? So you'll have a rock genre, a funk genre, you'll have a disco genre, a reggae genre, and throughout the book you'll have all kinds of examples written out for those types of drum beats. So that's a really, really cool book if you want to kind of get familiar with the basics of a lot of different genres of beats. So I'll be sharing some of that with you. I like to use that book because it's a pretty simple, straightforward way to show what drum notation looks like. And especially in when we're talking about beats, when we're talking about the percussion clef, it works differently than the treble clef does as far as the way, I mean, the notes are written the same way. I don't want to say it works differently, but instead of each note written on the page corresponding to, let's say, a key on the piano, each note will correspond to a different part of the drum set. And I think that would be a great thing to go over, because you guys can get some basic notation and stuff like that either from the books or online, and it'll make it easier for you if you wanted to learn a song to go ahead to the internet, download some sheet music, and then eventually, if you wanted to take it further, you can, if you wanted to take it further, you can even start to transcribe your own songs by listening. You know, once you get pretty good at understanding how to count, how to do basic notation, you can transcribe songs for yourself. That's what, so when you go on the internet and you look up a song, you know, there's somebody that transcribed it. There's somebody that listened to it, transcribed it. Unless, of course, you get the official music book from the artist, from the album, whatever. It's usually going to be somebody like me transcribing that song and then putting it up on the internet and charging $3 for it or something like that. But I think that might be a direction that we go, where we can start to go and transcribe our own music, so that number one, we can get practice at transcribing our own music, and number two, we don't have to pay for it, right? We don't have to pay for somebody else to transcribe songs for us. We can do it ourselves. It's great, great practice to learn how to read and write music. It's great practice to learn how to listen. I've been talking a lot about, over the last few shows, about learning songs. And, you know, that's what we all want to do, right? When we pick up our first set of drumsticks and we want to play drums, we want to learn how to play songs. We want to learn how to rock out. So transcribing not only is a great exercise to help with our writing of music and our understanding of counting and reading, but also listening. It's a great tool or a great exercise in listening, active listening, because what we want to do is we want to learn how to hear a song and understand what's going on in the beat and in the fills by being able to count along with the song. So we're going to do more of that stuff, and I'll show you some notation about some drum notation for simple beats that we can talk about, and then you can get a basic understanding of what's going on. I have a couple of things also that I created myself, worksheets that really kind of break down the basic beat. You could also see a couple of videos on my YouTube channel that talk about the basic beat. So today we're going to talk about putting it all together, right? We're going to talk about playing beats into fills, back into beats, into fills, and how do we keep it all together? How do we keep track? How do we stay on track? How do we make sure that when we enter a fill and exit the fill, it's in the right place within the beat? Because really, think about it. We're playing a beat throughout the song, and if we're playing in a band, we are tasked to keep tempo, keep time, keep the band on track, right? Providing that framework for the rest of the band to key into so that they know where they are in the song. That's our job. That's our number one job, keeping time. Okay, so fills are great, flashy stuff is great, fast, playing fast, all of that stuff is great. Our number one priority as drummers, we're timekeepers, and that's what we do. So as we're keeping time, we can make stuff interesting by using fills. But also what fills do, fills herald the change of a song. So fills will let you know and indicate that we're going to move to a different part of the song, whether it's from verse to chorus, chorus to solo, intro to verse, whatever it is, we're changing. So you'll often notice if you're listening to songs that a fill happens, then the band changes or the song changes. Okay, so we talked about eighth notes being the anchor of the rock beat, playing eighth notes on the hi-hat, and then adding bass drums and snare drums to certain hi-hats that we're going to be playing. So in other words, the hi-hat's going to go like this. So that is your timekeeper, the hi-hat, right? So when we move out of the beat into a fill, we need to make sure that wherever we leave the beat and wherever we come back to the beat, it's in the right spot. So I'm going to talk about how we determine what we're going to do. When we're playing, oh, you didn't even hear that either because I muted the microphone. I'm all over the place today, let me tell you. I got stuff coming up. Hold on, let's try that again, right? There you go. I think you heard that. I apologize. I'm all over the place today. But this is what you get, right? Like at the MarkZ Drumcast, like I said, it's all out there. It's all laid open. This is, you know, you see it all, warts and all. You see everything. But again, you know, technical difficulties happen and mistakes happen, and that's not even the point. The point is that we're all here to get together and exchange ideas, say hello, learn a little something, hopefully share a little something. So anyway, I played a beat, and then I stopped the bass drum and the snare drum, and I just played the hi-hat, just to give you that idea that the hi-hat is constantly going, right? The hi-hat is constantly keeping time. The hi-hat is constantly keeping us on track. So let's say, for example, we're going to start out with a 4-beat fill. We're going to do a 4-beat rock beat, one measure, 4-beat rock beat, and then we're going to go into a 4-beat fill, and then we're going to come back into the rock beat for 4 beats. We're going to do another fill for 4 beats. So, okay, we are ready to try that now. Okay, ready? This is pretty much what I was doing in the beginning of the show, just to kind of showcase what we were going to be talking about. And here we go. So I switched the fills up between 16th notes and 8th notes. If you're going to do 8th note fills, since we're playing 8th notes on our hi-hat, whatever tempo we're playing the hi-hat, those 8th note fills should be exactly what we're doing on the hi-hat as far as tempo goes. If we're playing 16th note fills and we're playing 8th note hi-hats, then our fills need to be twice as fast as the tempo we're playing the hi-hat. Not twice as fast as the tempo, let me not say that. But the notes need to be played twice as fast because they're smaller notes, and they have to be played twice as fast as what we're playing the hi-hat at, right? So the hi-hat's playing eighth notes, and the fills are going to be 16th notes. So what I will do to illustrate that a little bit better is I'm going to shut off the drums so you can hear me talking and counting as I'm doing the tappy taps on the electronic drums here, right? So we'll do eighth notes on the hi-hat, and then we're going to do 16th note fills. So you can see the difference. Note the difference between the speed of the notes on the hi-hat and the speed of the notes during the fills. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2, 2 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So now you have 16th notes on the snare drum or during the fills, 8th notes on the hi-hat. Note relationships are very important. 8th notes are a certain speed, and then 16th notes are twice as fast as 8th notes. We'll get into that in another show, but if you have a basic idea of reading and understanding of reading, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we need to keep the tempo of the beat the same as the tempo of the fills. Whatever we choose to do with our fills, we need to keep the same tempo. As far as what we do with our fills, that's really up to us. But the important part is, like I said, where do we start the fill, where do we end the fill, and to make sure we're coming back to the beat in the right spot, right? So we have the bass drum on 1, the bass drum on 3, the snare drum on 2, and the snare drum on 4. So when we're talking about where we are in the beat, are we in the 1 beat, the 2 beat, the 3 beat, or the 4 beat, okay? And if we start, like what I did before, is I started the fill on the 1. So I played the fill through the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4, and then I went back to the beat on the next 1. We could do shorter fills too. We could do 2-beat fills, which we would start on the 3 beat, go through the 4 beat, and then come back to the beat on the 1 of the next measure. Like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a. So what ends up happening is you noticed 3 and a 4 and a, and then 1. We're hitting the bass drum and the hi-hat together on the 1. So we're in the right spot. If we were to play a fill 3 and a 4 and a, and came back on the snare drum hi-hat, that would be on either the 2 or the 4, which would not be correct, and then that would throw everything off. Also, if I'm playing the fill throughout the 3 and the 4 beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1, right? We want to make sure that we're coming back on the bass drum hi-hat, which is the 1. We can start our fills on the 2 beat and do a 3 beat fill. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So we would start the fill where we would normally hit hi-hat snare on the 2 beat. So we would not hit hi-hat snare, we would start the fill on the 2 beat. We could do a 1 beat fill on the 4 to end the measure, and then at the end of the 1 beat fill, we go back to the beat on 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. Okay, so depending on what you want to do, we need to know where we start, where we finish. We could do a half a beat fill. This is one of my favorites, very widely used. I know I've talked about this before. On the and of 4, just 2 notes for the fill, but it starts on the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. I know we've heard that before. A lot of people, that's a widely used fill. And so it is on the and of 4, and it's very short. It's only half a beat long, and then we go back to the beat. So when you're listening to songs that you like, take notes, take mental notes, listen just to the drums, take note of where the fills start. Start counting along with the beat of the song so that you can be right there with it. And then it'll inform you as far as like, where's the bass drum? We talked about rock beats yesterday, putting the bass drum on the 1 and the and of 1, and then on the 3 and the and of 3. So we're adding a couple of extra bass drums to the pattern of the rock beat, and it sounds different. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now I know that there's a bass drum on the 1 and also on the and of 1. There's a bass drum on the 3 and also on the and of 3. That's very, very helpful to know when you're trying to, number one, create beats or recreate beats that you're hearing in a song. I think I need a producer. Maybe at some point I'll get a producer, right? This is a one-man operation, folks, right? I do this because I love it. I do this because I have a lot to offer, and I like to help people get better on the drums, and I like to share my experience and my knowledge with anybody that wants to listen. So anybody that's tuned in now or anybody that's tuned in later, after the fact, we're going to be going off the air in a couple of minutes. I have lessons to do today. Anybody that's into or that's watching this video, thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out, clicking on my video, and popping in to say hi. This is really, really fun. I love playing drums. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for about 12 years now. And besides that, I'm a professional drummer. I travel around and I play shows and I do studio work and all kinds of things, and I write music with different projects that I'm involved with. But this is something new that I'm doing, and as you can see, if you look back on some of the earlier lives, some of the earlier drumcasts, you'll see a big difference. I'm trying to improve the quality of the product every day, and I'm going to be adding some really cool stuff coming up very soon. But besides that, I'll be putting up drum covers. You can check out my drum covers on my channel. Go to my Patreon. It's almost finished. My website, again, almost finished. We're working on all of these things simultaneously. I'm working on all these things simultaneously. And so check out my drum covers on my YouTube channel. Check out my instructional videos on my YouTube channel. I have some concert footage of shows that I've played, concerts that I've gone to and stuff like that. Even some voiceover work I think is on there. But go ahead and check out all of my socials, MarkZDrums. To get to my YouTube, well, you're here, right? So just click over to my videos page, and you'll see a lot of drum covers. There'll be new drum covers going up very soon. I'm working on stuff constantly, but as you can see, this is, again, a work in progress. I'm also doing an online instructional video. I'm working and putting it together right now as we speak. This is, well, not an instructional video, a course. I'm putting together a course, a series of videos where you can come on in, you can join up and get access to my video library of instructional videos, soup to nuts, A to Z, everything in between, and a lot of great other information, that drum courses may be overlooked because they're not directly related to drums, but they have to do with being a drummer, and they have to do with the life of a drummer, and things that make our lives easier, things that we need to watch out for, things that we need to work on, and that's on the periphery of drumming. I've been, like I said, drumming since I'm 7. I've been playing in bands since I'm probably 16 or 17, and I've been teaching for about 12 years. So a lot of experience and knowledge to share. And even though I have a full roster of students and bands that I direct, I also direct student bands, I still feel like I have more to kind of push out there, into the world. And that's what it's all about, right? We need to pass on our experience and our knowledge to people that are coming up to help them along the way, because of course we want young drummers and young musicians to come up, and we want them to love music as much as we do. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. So if you like the videos, hit the like button. Check out my other videos. I have a bunch of stuff that I've been putting up. I've been very, very busy here in the studios at MarkZDrums. But anyway, what was I talking about? I think I was talking about fitting fills within drum beats. So when you're listening to your music, your songs that you like, check out the fills. Some are going to be short. Some might be longer, depending on the genre of music or the type of song you're listening to. And that is just something that comes along with experience and time on the drums. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this, and we're going to expand upon this at a later show. Less thinking, more feeling. Okay, sure, when I give you a sheet to work on, and like I said, we're going to upload some sheets. I'm going to show you some stuff. When I give you a sheet to work on, that's very much the thinking part. Okay, this note is there, so I have to play this, I have to do that, right? The feeling part is different. I have some students that like to use sheet music to learn songs, but they're kind of detached from the actual song, right? So I'm trying to bridge that gap with them between listening to the song and learning the song that way, and reading the sheet music and learning the song that way. Both are very valid and great ways to learn music, but a combination of the two is really where it's at as far as I'm concerned. We need to be able to take that visual and look at it and say, oh, okay, this is what's going on. I couldn't figure it out from the audio. But then the actual feel of the song, feeling, and when we talk about feel when we're playing drums, we're talking about that music kind of getting inside of our hearts. I don't want to sound corny, but that's what it is, really. The music gets inside of our hearts and gets inside of our minds and kind of makes us feel things. How many times have you heard music or listened to songs that make you feel something? Angry, sad, happy, excited, hopeful, you know, whatever, right? All of these different things. That's why music is magic, because music makes us feel things. So when we talk about playing music and feeling, we're talking about connecting to the song on a deeper level than just what's coming through our ear holes, right? We're connecting to the song on a deeper level. And when I see my students start to close their eyes and lock in with that song, I know they're starting to feel it. So think less, feel more. There's a lot of thinking involved in drumming as we're learning new things, but really where it's at is learning to feel that music and respond and allow your body to do what it's going to do on the drums as that music is filling you up. Okay, so that's all I have to say. We'll expand on that idea on subsequent shows as we move forward. MarkZDrums across all platforms. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment on everything I do. Just spend your day searching around on all the social media platforms that I'm on to see what I'm doing on each one. Just do that. Like everything, subscribe, go to my Patreon. Again, it's a work in progress, but I'm having a lot of fun putting this whole thing together, and I'm looking forward to building a really cool and fun community of drummers who want to hang out. Okay, so anyway, enough about that. I've got to go teach a lesson, and please leave any comments or questions. I'll be sure to get back to you. And thank you, and have a great day. It's a beautiful day out here on a beautiful